Hey Mixers, welcome back to another WNBA player props video. We are going to be giving away some cash again today. I feel like we've been giving away cash I think almost every single day since the All-Star break. I think we might have missed one day there where we didn't, but yeah, we've been on a pretty good run since the All-Star break. So let's keep that going tomorrow with our 5-game slate after we give that cash away. All right, guys, let's jump into it. All right, guys, so let's give that cash away first. So there were only 2 people that qualified today, but let's spin that wheel and see what we get here. All right, Rex Houston, you are the winner. You have won before, so I should be able to just find you and just send you that. You don't need to reach out to me, but if you don't see that money show up, in the next couple of hours, then just reach out to me and I'll get it to you. I'll make sure we get it to you. So he commented, short and sweet, hashtag in the mix. I like Kiki Ariafin and Kelsey Plum. Those were the 2 that hit. So I'll send you some cash, my guy. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you want to get in the mix for today's video, I only have the 2 best bets for you. So just comment hashtag in the mix. And I would love it if you would tell me some of your opinions on my leans. A lot of them are just not best bets because of payout reasons. So I do like a lot of my leans today. All right, so jumping into the recap, my game total bet did not hit. That one went way over the total. Sparks at Liberty under 175.5. It went to 200. And the Sparks won the game. So if you played the Sparks on the money line, you made a lot of money. Kiki Ariafin over 7.5 rebounds. She did have 11. She didn't look like she was going to get us there, but she got us there in the 4th quarter, which is what she actually usually does. She kind of picks it up in the 4th quarter. She gets a lot of she gets a lot of playing time in the 4th quarter, generally speaking. So her bets can be kind of sweaty. And then Kelsey Plum over 2.5 rebounds, never a sweat. 2.5, I think. So she just needed one more the whole second half, and she did get us there with 4. So that brings our total WNBA run up of the season up to 70, 44, and 2, which is 61.74%. Let's jump into the bets for today on this big 5-game slate. My first best bet is going to be Tiffany Hayes over 3.5 rebounds. This is against the Sun in the first game of the day. She had 4 in a game earlier in the season against the Sun. But the Sun give up the most rebounds in the entire WNBA to opponents. Similar players like Jewel Lloyd had 6 and 7 in her 2 games against the Sun, and Erica Wheeler had 5. So there's obviously no Kayla Thornton in this game, no Monique Billings to soak up those rebounds. There's going to be other Valkyries that are going to get rebounds, but I just like this Tiffany Hayes line at 3.5. I think she lands right on 4, but I think that there's potential for even more. Obviously, you guys know the Sun are on my banned list, so I do hesitate to bet anyone going up against the Sun, and definitely any Sun players. But it did work out for us the last time we did it. I think in the last game against the Sun, we took a bet against them, a rebounding bet, and it did cash for us. So we're going to do that again. Our next best bet is another rebounding prop, Satou Sabally over 5.5 rebounds. Ever since she got back from injury, she has not hit this line. But she was an elite rebounder before that. So this is just a bet that she kind of gets back to her normal form. She's over in 70% of games this year, and she had 9 against the Mystics previously. Obviously, the Mystics are a very good rebounding team, but so are the Phoenix Mercury, and they have a size advantage over some of these Mercury players. I wouldn't say a size advantage, but they don't have a size disadvantage. They can go toe-to-toe with these girls at the rim. So I like that one. And then a bunch of these leans are just leans for payout reasons, like Courtney Williams under 5.5 rebounds. I love this bet. It would be a best bet, but the payout is just not a regular line. And you guys know that I am really strict on my best bets record. I don't want to put any bets in there that aren't available for a semi-regular payout. So it needs to be at least 1.6 on some apps, or I think that would be like 0.85 on like Underdog. It needs to be at least at that level. Otherwise, I can't count it as a best bet. So I do love this bet. Courtney Williams under 5.5 rebounds. She's only over in 27% of home games this season, which is what is shown here in the graph. The Dream are one of the best rebounding teams. Obviously, they are without one Ryan Howard. But I'm afraid that this game could end up being low scoring. A lot of Minnesota games are low scoring, especially at home. So I'll just take Courtney Williams under on these rebounds. And then Aaliyah Boston over 3.5 assists. She is over in 69% of games without Caitlin Clark because she does take a more of a facilitating role when Caitlin is out. Not like a heavy facilitating role. She just kind of steps into that and helps out Kelsey Mitchell with that. Obviously, Ari McDonald has not been impressive at all. So she steps in, and then she's over in 85% of games without Caitlin Clark in away games, which this is an away game at Chicago. She did have 5 in a game without Caitlin Clark against Chicago earlier, and she had 0 in her game with Caitlin Clark against Chicago. So it's 5 or 0. We're just kind of hoping to land in the middle, I guess, on 4. And then Chelsea Gray over 8.5 points. This is the only regular line best bet. This is the only regular line play that's a lean that I could make a best bet, but I just don't feel confident in it. So it's just a lean. I'm going to keep it as a lean. Obviously, playing without Paige, I don't know what that's going to look like for the Wings. They're in Dallas. The Aces always play better at home, but this is too low of a line for Chelsea Gray. So she's over in 76% of games. She's over in 90% of games where she played at least 26 minutes or more. I don't know how much run she's going to get in this game. I don't know what's going to happen in this game. I don't know who's going to win this game, but I'd probably go with the Aces here, but I don't know for sure. So I'm just going to put a lean, just one little slip out here on Chelsea Gray, and we'll call it good. And then our last lean is Sophie Cunningham over 1.5 3-pointers made. I know a lot of people are liking her over points today, over 9.5. If she gets to 10 points, I think that means she's at least shot 2 threes. So that's what Sophie Cunningham mostly does, is shoot threes, and Chicago is weak above the break. So I do think that she should be able to get them. Angel Reese is going, Camila Cardoso is probably going to be on Aaliyah Boston most of the time. Angel Reese is most likely going to be on Kelsey Mitchell a lot of the time. And I don't know who's going to be guarding Sophie, but she should get a couple open threes. And then bonus bets, Sonia Citron over 1.5 3-pointers made. This is a plus money play. So our last plus money play on Paige did cash, but that doesn't mean this one's going to cash. The plus 160 is the best price that I saw. The DFS apps are also giving a boost if you take this payout, if you take this prop here. She did have 2 against the Mercury in Phoenix earlier in the season. Basically, it's going to be scary, guys. So this one's going to be sweaty. She's probably going to hit 1. And then that second one is going to be hard to come by. So if the Mystics are down in the second half, then Sonia's not going to be shooting threes. She's just going to be driving into the paint and scoring. If the Mystics are up, then Sonia will shoot a couple more threes. But we're only talking about like probably 4 attempts here, 4 to 5. 3 if they're way behind. So this doesn't have a good chance of hitting. That's why it's a plus money play. So I just wanted to warn you about that if you decided to tail me there. All right, so let's jump into that review. We have 2 best bets: Tiffany Hayes over 3.5 rebounds, Satou Sabally over 5.5 rebounds, and then our 4 leans are Courtney Williams under 5.5 rebounds, Aaliyah Boston over 3.5 assists, Sophie Cunningham over 1.5 3-pointers made, and Chelsea Gray over 8.5 points. And then we have the 1 plus money bonus bet, Sonia Citron over 1.5 3-pointers made. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment hashtag in the mix, and you are in the mix with any comment since we just have the 2 best bets for today. But I would love to hear your thoughts on 1 or more of those leans. I think they're pretty good. They just aren't full payouts for the most part. And so I couldn't put them in the best bets. All right, thanks, guys.